Major Klint Kubiak Raiders news. Hell, I'm almost tempted to say this is breaking news. The Las Vegas Raiders have a second interview scheduled with Seahawks Offensive Coordinator Klint Kubiak. If you don't hit that like button, I'll definitely know this. You don't bleed silver and black. And I promise you this right now. If, fingers crossed, when the Las Vegas Raiders decide to bring in Kubiak to be their next head coach, I'm going to be going live and I'm going to be going wild. This is why I want you to hit that sub button. I'm live right now on Wednesday. I was live yesterday for 4 hours. I'm probably going to be live here today, probably close to 5 or 6. I'm telling you this right now. I'm giving up my off day on Saturday. I'm coming in here to the studio. I'm going to be live all freaking day because I mean this, John, Tom Brady, anybody. If you are serious about getting Klint Kubiak to be the next head coach of this team, you do everything you can to make sure that you know and Klint knows that he's going to be the next head coach. Because obviously you can't make it officially official. But I'm telling you this right now. You do everything in your power to hire him. Don't let him leave. He's got to leave because he's got to get ready for the big game. But I'm telling you this right now. We got to find a way to make sure that that deal is done after Saturday. So I want to give a lot of credit here to my guy, Vincent Bonsignor. He's the one that ended up breaking the news. I know there were some rumblings out there for some other people. I'll always say it like this. I am only going to talk about something if it's from somebody that I do truly trust. And Vinny B, I'm hearing Klint Kubiak's second interview with the Raiders is scheduled for Saturday. Can't wait. This is the one interview that we've been sitting around, we've been waiting for. Diana Rossini earlier yesterday put out a tweet that kind of made a lot of people wonder who could be this secret interview that the Raiders are looking at. The Las Vegas Raiders are still planning another interview with a candidate this week. They have yet to make a decision at the head coach. I think one of the biggest reasons why Davis Webb was not hired on Monday, it's because this organization does really like Webb. They flew in an owner, and clearly there was a lot of interest there. The Broncos fired their offensive coordinator, I think, to maybe try to battle the Raiders a little bit. But the number one reason why Davis Webb was left out the door, it's because he wasn't number one on their list. I really, truly believe that Klint Kubiak is the number one coach that the Raiders want. And he was the number one coach that I wanted back in December when I told everyone, hey, they're going to fire Pete Carroll. Kubiak's been my number one guy. And I have done this show so many years. I am screaming. I'm excited. I feel like a little kid inside. I got the butterflies flying around because I don't know how many times I've sat up here and I've told the Raiders, I want you to hire this guy. And they go in a completely different direction. For the first time ever, the Raiders might actually listen. I'm not saying they're listening to me, but they're listening to the Raider Nation. They're listening and going out and getting the guy that everybody wants. And he's got a lot of offensive coordinator experience. And I'll also tell you on today's program why he's my number one candidate. Why everybody that's around Raider land should be hyped the F up that Kubiak's coming in for that second interview. Because he did interview Friday, January 9th. It was the final interview that week. The way that week went was Davis Webb was on Wednesday. Vance Joseph, Matt Nagy, Kevin Stefanski was Thursday. And then it ended up being Klint Kubiak on that Friday. But a lot of us were sitting back wondering, is it going to be Klint? The video that I released earlier today, the number one candidate that I thought and was hoping that second secret interview was Klint Kubiak. But to be very clear, the Raiders cannot hire Klint. Can't hire him. What you can do is have a little bit of we're doing this? We're doing this? All right. And I wouldn't be shocked if a guy like Adam Schefter, if a guy like Ian Rappaport sends out a tweet on Saturday that the expectation, the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders is going to be Klint Kubiak. And then after the Super Bowl, after February 9th, is then when I expect hey, it's official. The Las Vegas Raiders have just hired Klint Kubiak. That's the way that I'm hoping it ends up going down. Because, again, you can't officially hire somebody that's still playing. Yeah, it can't happen. It's not how the NFL league rules go. What's also really important about the timing of this Saturday is the Raiders had between January 26th and February 1st to get the second in-person interview done. This week, you can only do second interviews in person. It's why the Bills couldn't do it. It's why I think there was another team out there that couldn't do it as well. The Bills, right? The Bills, I forget who the other team was. Doesn't matter, right? I'm going off tangents. I'm excited, clearly. But for the Raiders, this is the guy that you want. So I think on Saturday, I'm going to be live here. And I'm going to be up here. I'm going to be sitting here. I'm going to be waiting for the Raiders to make that announcement, whether it's the second interview is concluded or we get that from Schefter of the expectation is Klint Kubiak is going to be the next head coach of the Raiders. So here's my question to the nation. You guys let me know. Do you want the Raiders to hire Klint Kubiak? Give me a yes. Give me a no. This is going to be the ad break on today's program. You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. I want you to scroll on down, and I want you to say yes or no. And why I'm about to say is this. I hope everybody goes down there and says yes. Because I'm not saying Clint's going to see this show. I'm not saying that it's going to be seen out there, but I do know for a fact that this show is the #1 Raider show in the entire world. That Raider Nation will have a voice. And if there's that 1% chance that Klint comes across this video, I want him to know Raider Nation has his back. If you're not spamming yes right now, go check your pulse. And there might be a little bit of a risk involved. And I understand that there's probably a lot of fans out there that are going, well, I don't know if I want Klint. Let's be clear. Whether you hire Klint Kubiak, whether you hire Davis Webb, whether you hire, I don't know, Nate Shieldhouse, Chris Shula, Mike LaFleur, whoever insert that name is, when it deals with the Raiders, there's risk. There's always risk. It's the Las Vegas Raiders. But I honestly believe this, even if you were to hire Jesus Christ himself, if you were to rise up and he's here, you would have risk about it. And I just think as a fan, at the end of the day, for a fan base that really felt last season that the coaching staff was completely clueless and lost, for a fan base that has felt like a long time, I know I have felt like a long time that I feel like I know more about this Raiders team than the people that are making decisions. And I do believe in Tom Brady. I do believe in John Spytek. So for the news of this happening, you're damn right I'm fired up, man. You're damn right I'm happy. I'm excited. There's not too often I'll sit up here on this show and I don't have a lot of words, but I feel like right now you're interviewing me after a big-time game. We haven't won anything yet, but I feel like I'm getting interviewed right now and I'm sitting up here going, I'm not sure what to do with my hands. That's how excited I am about Klint Kubiak potentially joining the Silver and Black. So coming up here in just a moment, I'm going to tell you why the Raiders should hire him. I'm going to tell you why the fit makes sense, why he's the #1 coach on my list, why he's been the #1 coach on my list for the last 2 months. Before I get into that, though, Kubiak was #1 on my list. #1 fantasy sports app in the world, it's Prize Picks. And the big game, it's almost here. Do you plan on watching Klint Kubiak in the big game? I know I do. There's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. And since the big game is right around the corner, it also means it's your last chance to get into the football action before next season. So close the season outright with Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. My wife, she never wanted to watch football. Then we started playing on Prize Picks, and now she's talking to me about who she's picking for her lineup. It's exciting. It gets all of us more amped up watching the game. Do you miss fantasy football? Prize Picks lets you play fantasy football every week. Pick your favorite players and win when they hit their projections. Do you plan on watching the big game? I anticipate that answer to be yes. I'll tell you this right now. I'm going to be rooting for Klint Kubiak. Why? I'm rooting for Klint because if he loses that game, again, I'm recording this before we know anything about that interview on Saturday. If he loses that game, I wonder if he goes, oh, man, maybe I'm not ready to be a head coach in the NFL. I feel like if you win that game as an offensive coordinator, you're going to believe in yourself and you're going to challenge in yourself and you're going to go, you know, I think I'm ready to take that next step. And I think I'm ready to be the head coach of whatever team I can go with. So maybe I'm going to do a stack with Darnold. Maybe I'm going to do a stack with JSN. I might do a stack with Kenneth Walker. I'm telling you this right now. I'm going to be rooting for the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm going to be rooting for Klint Kubiak in that offense. I'm going to be going more, and a little bit more action. And if you want to ride with me, you can follow me on Prize Picks. I'm at MitchellRens365. So download the Prize Picks app today. Make sure that you use code CLNS. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good, and I mean it. It's good to be right. So here's why I believe the Raiders should find a way to hire Kubiak. And again, it's tough to say you got to hire him on Saturday because you can't officially do it. But I want Kubiak to know that we want him, and I want the Raiders to know that you got to figure out every way that you can't let him leave the building without that handshake going. We're going to be working together next season. He comes from a phenomenal coaching tree. When you look at the Kubiak coaching tree and then you look at the Shanahan tree, I look at both of those organizations and both of those coaching trees and I go, again, Kubiak's a risk, but every person is a risk because until the Raiders are good, let's all face the facts here. I think until the Raiders are good, there's always going to be that little guy in the back of my head that goes, well, it's the Raiders. We don't get anything nice. We don't get to have anything good. But when you look at his coaching past, he's got a lot of good stuff in here. I mean, I really look at currently the OC of the Seahawks. He was the Saints OC last season, the 49ers pass game coordinator, Denver's pass game coordinator and quarterback coach, and then with the Minnesota Vikings, quarterback and OC. He's been with multiple different organizations, and with those different organizations, he's had a lot of success. And if you're the silver and black, you're looking at the number 1 overall pick. You're looking at Fernando Mendoza, and you know damn well that your next head coach better be able to work with some quarterbacks. Luckily for you, Klint Kubiak has had a lot of quarterback success. I thought Derek Carr looked really damn good, that Saints offense last season. Unfortunately, so many people got hurt. Look at Sam Darnold this season. Back-to-back 14-win seasons. The only quarterback on the planet that's ever done that is Tom Brady and Sam Darnold. I wonder if Tom Brady's noticing Mr. Darnold now. Kirk Cousins a few years ago. Brock Purdy in 2023. Case Keenum in 2018. He's got a lot of quarterback success. And if you're the Raiders, you're going, how can I be the most friendly to Fernando Mendoza? Smart, young, innovative, offensive-minded head coach. How many people have ever wanted the Raiders to go that route? I know I've been begging for that route for a long time. Next thing, he's a football guy. The reason why I bring that up is because a lot of times I think good organizations, when the players that they bring in, Fernando Mendoza, football guy. Ashton Genty, football guy. Brock Bowers, football guy. Max Crosby, football guy. When you're pillars of your team, you need their identities to match the coach that you got. Kubiak, when you hear a lot of things about him, he eats, sleeps, breathes football. And sure, some people will kind of ride on him a little bit. Maybe he's quiet. Maybe he's a little quirky at his press conferences. Liam Cohen, I thought, is the epitome of quirky. They just made the playoffs. They look like a hell of a football team. Fernando Mendoza, dude, I mean, he's kind of quirky. But because he is a football guy, you got to be a football guy to have Tom Brady looking over your shoulder. Got to be a football guy to be able to work with John Spytek. And the other important part about being a football guy is you know the importance of team and having a coach that's willing to come in here and listen and not think that his shit don't stink and not think that everything that he says is going to be right. I don't want another Pete Carroll. I don't want another Josh McDaniels. I don't want another John Gruden. I want a football guy that's willing to listen. And when you grow up around football your entire life and you're in a Kubiak family and you're working around Shanahan, I'm telling you, that is a group of people that eat, sleep, breathe football because you don't work with Shanahan unless you do it. You're not going to say you don't live with the Kubiak family, but there's a reason why he's at where he's at. He's a football guy. Let's go to the next reason. He's been my top candidate. And I know I've said it a bunch of times on this show already, but I'm so proud of the Raiders, and they still got to get the deal done. They still got to get it done. But I feel like if they go out and get my top candidate, if they go out and get the top candidate, we got to stop sitting up here and going, well, the Raiders can't do this. I think it shows that Tom Brady can close the deal. I think it shows that people want to come play here for this organization. And I don't blame fans for sitting back going, nobody wants to coach this team. You can't say that anymore if Klint Kubiak takes this job. And it's still not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee at all. And if you were to miss out on Klint, then yeah, you might want to look at some of those other names that I was just showing. But for the Raiders, if he's your top guy, you're in Las Vegas, pile up your chips, Tom, and get ready to push them in the middle of the table. The final reason why I'm going to say it, I do think he's the perfect head coach for what the Raiders have right now. Not even looking at the over $100 million that we're going to have in salary cap space, top 2 in the NFL. Not even looking at the 10 total draft picks that this organization is going to have. I mean the perfect fit for Las Vegas because, again, I'm talking offense and offense only, right? Look at the Seattle Seahawks last season. They had one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. This year, major offensive line improvements. You look at the quarterback in Fernando Mendoza. What's the best part about helping a young quarterback? I think it's getting the play action involved and really having a coach that knows the strengths of your team. You look at when he was the OC in Minnesota. Kirk Cousins was out there doing his thing. You look at Brock Purdy in 2023. Brock Purdy's best season was in 2023 with Clint. There's the pass game coordinator. 2024, Derek Carr. Derek Carr might have been the front runner for the MVP the first 3 weeks of the season. Then, unfortunately, a lot of injuries ended up zapping that offense. Now you got Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is a 14-3 winning quarterback, number one team in the NFC, but it's that ability to play smart football, take care of it, that's also really going to help Mendoza be the best version of himself. And I haven't even mentioned Ashton Genty. Look at how they use Kenneth Walker in that ground game. Look at how the tight ends have always been used in Seattle. And yes, they got JSN. They got a lot more talented receivers. But the way that they scheme open JSN, I look at a guy like Brock Bowers and I'm going, dude, this Brock Bowers guy, if they can find a way to always find ways to get him open, then you're going to be able to find a lot of ways to get this two tight end system going with Bowers, with Michael Mayer. I am unbelievably excited for this second interview with the Raiders. And to me, he's showing up for a reason. And I also think that it's a secret meeting for a reason. If he wasn't interested in the job, I don't think there's any reason to not keep it a secret. If he's not interested in the job, I don't see why he even takes the interview during Super Bowl week. I think this means he's interested. I think it means he's the top candidate. And I think that he means he's going to be the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. I got chills right now, man. I've made over 5,000 videos on this show. This is going to be one of my favorite videos that I do. And I've gone live for some craziness. 26 straight hours for Josh McDaniels. 11 hours when they fired Pete Carroll. 10 hours for Devontae Adams. You're going to have to rip me out of this studio if Klint Kubiak ends up getting hired. And if you want to party, you want to show up, you want to show out with the nation, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, because I'm telling you this right now, it's going to be a Oakland-style party. J-Lot style. Let's get after it.